Hello, and welcome to this video on intellectual property implications of artificial intelligence content creation. The last week has gone crazy with ChatGPT being released at the end of November. I've been playing around with it a lot, and when you can get on it, because the system's been really busy since so many people have signed up. But as an intellectual property lawyer, of course, our main concern is always, is this, infringing? Is it creating intellectual property rights? So I figured I'd give ChatGPT a test spin with answering that question and writing a script. So here is what it spit out. Use of artificial intelligence and the creation of content grows. So do the questions surrounding the ownership and control of such content. In this video, we explore some of the key issues and considerations related to the intellectual property of AI-generated content. First, let's define what we mean by AI-generated content. This can include anything from text to music to art created with the help of AI tools and algorithms. Some examples include news articles written by an AI program or a piece of music composed by an AI system. One of the main questions surrounding intellectual property of AI-generated content is who owns it? Is it the creator of the AI system, the person or entity who commissioned the content, or the AI itself? The answer to this question will depend on the specific circumstances and legal jurisdictions in which the content was created. In some cases, the creator of the AI system may be considered the owner of the content it generates. In other cases, the person or entity who commissioned the content may be seen as the owner. There's currently, for patents, a famous case, Dr. Thaler, I think his machine's called Dabus, D-A-B-U-S, and most jurisdictions have denied it patentability because the machine is who created the invention. But I believe Australia or maybe one other country might have either leaned into granting it a patent still, even though it was created by AI. And then there's a lot of implications. The Copyright Office specifically denied an application that was for a image that was fully artwork that was fully created AI. Now, I don't know if the AI, if you're prompting it and giving it prompts to create it, not just creating random art on its own, if that might raise to the level of creating it. And that's actually a little bit about what this post that this created talks about. There are questions surrounding the potential for AI-generated content to be protected with copyright. In some cases, AI-generated content may be seen as a work for hire, meaning the person or entity commissioning that. Work for hire is a specific type of copyright ownership transfer. Essentially, if you have an employee, it's considered work for hire, or if you have a specific agreement for specific types of works, it's considered a work for hire. And it's essentially as if the entity that the person's working for created it. The intellectual property implications, AI-generated content is still largely uncharted territory, and will likely be up to courts and lawmakers to establish how these issues are addressed. So what I was really going for here, and maybe it was the prompt I used, was to see the intellectual property implications of the content that the AI is using to create new content, whether it's images, whether it's written words. What are those implications from a infringement aspect? So does AI generated content, and others copyright? Let's see how it handles this question. It's thinking. It is possible for AI-generated content to infringe on another's copyright. That could occur if the AI-generated content uses, reproduces, or derives another's copyrighted work without permission of the copyright owner. For example, if an AI system is trained on a data set that includes copyrighted content, and the AI then generates new content that incorporates element of the copyrighted content, it could possibly be seen as infringing on the original copyright. So far, that sounds correct. In order to avoid copyright infringement, it is important for creators of AI-generated content to ensure they have necessary permissions and licenses in place before using any copyrighted material as part of the AI training or creation process. Additionally, it's important to keep in mind that even if the AI system itself is generating the content, the person or entity using the AI may still be held responsible for the copyright infringement. That's the big concern. So if you're planning to use AI in the creation of content, it's important to be aware of these issues and seek legal guidance as needed to ensure that you're not infringing on the other's rights. So I like that because that is true. It's going to depend upon what you use to train the system, whether it's actual AI or machine learning. But it's just interesting because as humans, we read copyrighted content. So we're getting things all over, whether it's listening to music, seeing pictures, watching videos. Yeah, everything that we're getting is coming from generally copyrighted content, which is probably where the AI will get it from too. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out in the future. If you like these videos, please subscribe below, and thanks for watching.